This week has been a really exciting week in our ensuite because we finally got to some of the fun parts and putting in the pieces. So the vanity, the chandelier, it's not all done yet, but I'm going to show you where we've got to. And my first job today is to paint the gold on the top piece, on the mirror that's going to go behind the dresser. I'm going to show you what that's going to look like. So I'm going to get painting and then I will go upstairs and I'll show you how it looks. It's a beautiful sunny day today, and so I'm making the most of sitting in front of the big bay window and enjoying the sunshine coming through the glass. And I am doing my second coat on the drawers for our vanity in the bathroom. I'm doing two coats on the drawers and on the unit, and then I'm going to put a top coat on as well, just to protect it. And I know, especially with bathrooms and vanities, and I want to make sure that it's protected, as it's going to get a fair amount of use, and there's also the potential of having some water. So we're putting on a waterproof top coat over the paint, just to keep everything looking nice. So I'm just finishing, this is my second coat, and I'm excited to actually be able to take these upstairs and actually put them on the dresser, which is going to be our vanity. But the other really cool thing is that we've now found this piece here. Now this piece, if I can show you, it actually goes on the back of our dresser, and it has a mirror that will sit in here. The mirror is really cool. It's an old mirror, but it's been cut beautifully to this shape. And so we've decided to use this kind of as our backsplash instead of having tile. We're going to put the mirror back in, and this is going to sit on the back of the dresser. So I'm just working on getting the second coat onto this as well. I've already done one coat, and then I'm actually going to add some gold onto this top detail, so it will kind of match the doors. So that's what I'm working on at the moment, and then I'm hoping that I can take it upstairs tomorrow and at least get it put on, so I can show you kind of what it's going to look like. I still think this is one of my favorite jobs, painting gold on furniture. Just looks so awesome. It's amazing what a little bit of gold paint can do. So this is the mirror that is going to go in the piece that I've just been painting, and you can see how beautifully it's been cut. It's such a unique shape. So this came with the vanity, and we debated whether we would use this or tile at the back, but we've decided that we're going to go with this because it just really keeps the character of the piece, and it just looks so different and unique. So I think it's going to be a really nice piece instead of tile at the back of the vanity. I'm really excited about how the ensuite is turning out, and although we still have some work to do, the vanity is now in place and you can really start to see what it's going to look like. And I just love the gold detail, I love the damask pink. I think it works beautifully in here. So as you can see, we still have a little bit of work to do on the vanity. The drawers and the doors still need to go on. You can see they're standing at the bottom there, ready for their new hinges. And I wanted to show you this back piece. So this is the piece that I've been painting with the gold. And this is where that mirror is going to go. So it will fit into that shape at the back. And that's what we're going to be using instead of tile. So it's kind of a really nice, unique backdrop to the vanity. And all of this is going to have a top coat on to keep it watertight and to protect it but I just love the colors. I just love the damask pink and the gold. I think it works really, really well in here. And we've added this sink that is just, I love it. It's very, very unique. It's got the fleur-de-lis in it. I've got lots of texture. And it's going to be a really nice statement piece in contrast to the damask pink and the gold. And we're going to be obviously adding our tap in so that the sink can be used. But I wanted to show you kind of where we got to so you can kind of get an idea of how it's going to look when it's all finished.
The other really exciting thing this week was our first chandelier went up.
So the day has finally come when we are putting a chandelier up in our ensuite bathroom, and we've had a little bit of debate as to which is the best chandelier, and this is the one we finally decided to go with. And so Stephen is doing the honors, and I can't wait to see it. It's so exciting.
Looks like one of those disco globes when you spin it like that.
Our first chandelier is up, and just look at the ceiling and how the light shines off the glass and onto, makes this really cool pattern on the ceiling. I am very happy with that. My philosophy is you can never have enough chandeliers, and this one does not disappoint. It's kind of hard to see right now because we're in daylight, but the way that the light shines and reflects off the ceiling is just beautiful. It has this lovely, lovely glow to it. All the pieces are so intricate, and it just has a great, great feel in this bathroom.
You probably know by now that I love to find new treasures, and I'm always looking for new pieces that I can add to our collection or for specific rooms in the house. And recently we picked up these wall sconces, which we found actually on Marketplace, and I love them. They are actually going to be for our library. Now, our library is the next area that we're going to be working on, and I'm doing it in a really nice kind of rich blue, like a tealy blue. And it's going to have that feel of that kind of the old school libraries where you can sit and read a book and feel nice and cozy. So I wanted something that I can put on my bookcase, my bookshelves, because I'm going to have floor to ceiling bookshelves in the library. And I thought these would be perfect. So I loved the actual piece that I have here. And then let me get it out here. And then the actual globe to it is like this, which is probably not a style that I would have chosen generally, but I just thought that this would look really, really cool as a wall sconce in a really kind of old traditional library. I kind of, in my head, have visions of those kind of old New York libraries, which were quite kind of dark and had, you know, the warm lighting, and you could sit with a book. So that's kind of my idea. So we found these on Marketplace, and so we picked them up. And then literally a couple of days later, we are looking on the auction, and we discover this lamp. So it has this beautiful kind of like a brass base, and it has exactly the same but bigger, and I was like, wow, that's really cool, let's pick that up, and that can go in the library as a complementing lamp. And I was like, that's kind of weird, like in the same week I find the wall sconces and then I find this lamp. And then literally days later we look on a different auction site, we have a couple that we use, and guess what I found? Another lamp that's exactly the same. And what makes me really curious is that the base of this one and the other one that we got from the auction is identical. It's almost like they were a pair and somehow they got split up, and one ended up in one auction and another one ended up in another auction, and we just happened to see both, and so we picked them both up, and now we've put them back together and they're now a pair again. So it's just like I say, I love finding treasures, but I also am always curious about the stories behind them. You know, who owned that? How did that end up being, were they together? Maybe they weren't, maybe it was just complete coincidence. But, you know, who owned them before and how were they split up and were they a pair? And it just makes me think about all the different people that will have owned these before. So it's always makes me curious, it always makes me ask lots of questions, but either way, I've got some great lamps for the library, so I'm looking forward to putting them in. Today, Stephen is putting the top coat on the floor in the bedroom, and what a difference it makes. Now the floor in the bedroom has been stained and top coated. You can see how beautifully the wood has come up. You can see kind of all the age in it and the grain in the wood, and it just has come up beautifully. And it's hard to imagine that this actually, it wasn't that long ago that this was painted with white paint. And we've stripped it all off. We've taken the wood back to its original and then stained and top coated it, and it's just looking fabulous. So I'm going to go back to working on the vanity and getting that finished. We were hoping to get our wallpaper up by now, but unfortunately it's a little too cold and I don't want to have to deal with wallpaper not sticking. So we've decided to just wait probably a couple more weeks until the weather is a little bit warmer, and then we can get the wallpaper up. But in the meantime, we still have lots to do in here, so I'm going to get working on the vanity, getting that finished. And I will see you next week on our next episode of the Lady Smith Manor Diaries.